I'm Dan Markovitz, and welcome to my fabulous and elegant COVID-19 video studio. If you're watching this, it's because you probably have read or looked at the CEO Overwhelm study that I did this winter. And I wanted to make a short series of videos, or a series of short videos, to discuss some of the findings there and to give you some ideas of how to move forward with the insights that I generated from that research. When we talk about overwhelm, we have to understand that it is a symptom. It is not, in fact, a problem. And if you want to improve that system, you have to look at the root causes. Typically, people approach overwhelm or try to deal with overwhelm by undergoing time management training or hiring extra support staff. And I would argue that those countermeasures tend to be relatively ineffective, because if you've reached a level in your career where you're responsible for people, whether you're a CEO or a VP or a manager, the odds are good you actually have enough time management skills. And hiring more people definitely doesn't work, because it adds more clutter, communication clutter and burden to you. So it actually works against you in terms of reducing that feeling of overwhelm. What we need to do is attack those feelings of overwhelm at the root cause level. And in these videos, what I'll do is talk about some of the common root causes and how you might handle them, countermeasures that might actually be effective. So the first idea is that overwhelm stems really from a feeling that you don't have enough time to do whatever it is that's important to you. But time really is a reflection of your priorities. And if you've got 37 priorities, you don't actually have any priorities. The truth is, you always have time for what is a real priority, for what's really important. And at the risk of sounding melodramatic, I'd like you to think about this. If your husband, if your wife, if your boyfriend, girlfriend, your spouse, your significant other, your dog, your child, your parents, if any one of them got hit by a bus and had to be taken to the doctor, or in the case of your dog, to the vet, you would make time for it and you wouldn't feel overwhelmed by it. Because when that happens, when there's that kind of crisis, all of a sudden everything, the importance of everything, recedes. And what's left is the thing that's truly important to you. It's taking care of that beloved family member, whether that's a person or a pet. You always have time for what's important. So what's the countermeasure? Well, if you're dealing with 37 priorities, and an awful lot of organizations are, and an awful lot of people within those organizations are dealing with 37 priorities, what I'd like you to do is the opposite of a to-do list. Jim Collins of Good to Great fame has written about this. What you want to do is make a stop doing list. Assume that you have time for only 3 strategic priorities and throw out everything else. Now, on a daily basis, of course, you're going to have things that crop up that you're going to have to deal with, and that's totally fine. But when you think about the big picture, long-term strategic priorities and initiatives that you're working on for your organization, or for yourself for that matter, what I'd like you to do is focus on 3 of them and toss out all the others. So if it's opening up a new market, or developing a new product, or creating a new product line, that's great. On a personal level, if it has to do with improving the relationship with your family, that's terrific. If it has to do with physical health, that's terrific. But we want to minimize the number of things that are pulling at you. So 3 priorities, everything else toss. Remember, you always have time for what's important. So let's make clear to yourself what is important. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.